Good evening, YouTube. HeirofCarthage here, and I will be your emissary for the Prophet, so to speak. We're going to be joining with Tehenhauin, the Prophet, I guess the Prophet of Sotek. If I get some of this wrong, then forgive me, I'm not the lore master around these parts. There's actually a guy who has that name. And he's awesome, by the way. In any case, yes, welcome to the Prophet and the Warlock. Get you a nice new little background here. I do have early access to the campaign and to all the content, and I'm going to be showing you some of it, obviously, in this video. This video is meant to be two things. One, it's going to be a Let's Play, but I'm also going to be giving you some tips on how to get your Tehenhauin campaign started. And this is going to be an Eye of the Vortex campaign, so let's jump into that. I'm actually not Tyrion. There we go. There we go. So, we're going to be playing as Tehenhauin, the Lizardmen of the Cult of Sotek. Oh, never mind. Yeah, okay. I was like, that's not a video of Tehenhauin. Yeah, he's right here. So, typical Lizardmen stuff, the geomantic web. So the settlements are linked by a network of which boosts the power of commandments, which is pretty cool. Special spawnings. So these are like blessed variants, and then you got beast suited to every task. Now, specific to the Cult of Sotek, we have the sacrificial offerings gained from winning battles. So every time you win a battle, you have an option where you can gain these captives. There's a lot of really cool stuff you get from the sacrifices. It's a really cool system. You take the battle captives, you make the sacrifices, you can get followers, you can get special buffs for your troops, you can unlock regiments of renown, you can call down special powers in battle. There's all kinds of really cool stuff you get from it. It's a very fun system. And then it says during stage 1 of the Prophecy of Sotek, so this is just the way the game starts, you have a huge upkeep penalty for Saurus and Temple Guard units. But that's okay, you don't need them early on. You're the red-crested skink and the Prophet of Sotek, so come on, get with it. The right cost is minus 75% for the Rite of Sotek, and then the Lord effects, there are 10% physical resistance for skinks in the Lord's army, which is really cool. You can get a really nice skink-focused army going on. And then there's going to be Untainted +3 in the local province, again from the Lord, and then extra leadership when you're fighting against Skaven. So we are going to jump in to some campaign. I'm going to just play on hard settings. This is just going to be kind of a fun campaign. I'm not looking to ratchet up anything too nuts in here. I may turn up the battle difficulty as we get moving along. But yeah, should be fun. And I'll give you all some tips on how to play you some Tehenhauin campaign. I can't show you any cinematics. It was a request from Creative Assembly. I guess it's safe to assume that they're probably adding some because they asked us not to show them. So anyway, I will see you on the campaign map. Now, for those of you who don't speak skink, hopefully you were following along, but I mean, who doesn't speak skink at this point? We're going to start off with a bunch of missions. Quite a few here. We got the Rise of the Red Crest Apostles of War. So to complete this one, we need to own the entirety of 2 provinces, and I'll show you the way that I like to do that. And then we've got this one, the Rise of the Red Crest Exodus. Perform 5 rituals of the following category. Sacrifice. Okay. We can do that. Knowledge of the Stars. Ensure that one of the following buildings have been constructed. Sacred Spawning Caverns. Spawning Pools of the Braves. Beast Lair. Scrying Pool. Skink Foraging Camp. Skink Barrios. Grand Plaza or Stone Marker. And then Plague Ridden Filth. We can get 8 ancient plaques for capturing and occupying any settlement belonging to Clan Fester, which is the one that we are at war with right here. And we should be able to accomplish that relatively easily. To start off with, we're going to have access to just skink cohort and skink cohorts with javelins. Now, this is where I'm going to give you all some tips. I'm not great at playing the Lizardmen because I haven't spent a lot of time, but just a quick tip here. If you look here, there's only like a couple of differences between a skink cohort and a skink cohort with javelin. Obviously, the cost and the upkeep is one, but the number of skinks in each unit is the same. It's just that one comes with poison javelins. So if you can afford it, which in this case we can, get the ones with the javelins. So, yeah. I mean, why not get the extra poison javelins? Now, we want to go ahead and build this Spawn Pools of the Braves. It's going to help us accomplish the mission, and it's going to give us access to red-crested skinks and skink skirmishers, both of which will be pretty important for this early gameplay here. So hope you all are following along on that. So what's my strategy? There are a couple of settlements that we need to take. One is over here near the Citadel of Dusk. We could take this one. It's relatively close, but the elves are likely to make a move on it, and then Lokir is up here likely to be making a move as well. Don't want to get involved in that one right away. Now if you think about it, skinks are not great against armor. We don't want to be having that type of fight early. So for 2 entire provinces, the coast of the Lustrian Gulf would be the first one, which means we just have to capture the Night Forest. And then from there, I'm going to go for the Copper Desert. You might be like, well, Air, that's got High Queen Khalida. Isn't that going to be a bit crazy? Nah, it's just skeletons. We got them. So if we take them out early, we'll have a whole lot less to worry about, and then we won't have to worry about Tomb Kings potentially turning against us later. So there are the sacrifices of Sotek that can be made. We have some right here. We're going to want to go ahead and do this sacrifice of Watek, or however you say it. It's going to give 10 armor to all of our units. It's pretty important for skinks. So that's how you make the sacrifice. It's this system here. You can see all the way up on the top we get the Great Sacrifice of Sotek, which gives this invocation of Sotek for all armies for 10 turns. There are special units like the Regiments of Renown, like the Legion of Chakwa. We don't want any Saurus units right now. And then there's this cohort of Sotek. We'll want to do that one relatively soon. That is a nice unit to have. So there's all kinds of stuff in here available to us. So lots of good stuff, okay? That's the sacrifice system. If you all haven't seen it, the Geomantic Web shows you where the settlements are linked together via the capital settlement. Not all of these are going to be linked up the same, so if you own the ones with the circles around them, you can build a geomantic pylon there, and you can buff the commandments, and it can be very, very powerful. We do have our rights here as well, and one of the ones that you'll be using early on that's going to be really good is this Right of Sotek, which again, the cost has been decreased for Tehenhauin. So going to be very good because you get the extra melee attack. So make use of this at the right moment, okay? That's what you want to make use of it at the right moment. Now, as far as other tips, if you take a look at Tehenhauin's skill tree, let's jump in there real quick. A couple things I've learned about his skill tree. He obviously has this line here under Skirmisher, which this is going to add quite a bit of strength to your skinks. It's going to be really great early on, so I'd recommend getting into this Skirmisher, and then right afterwards, opening up this one right here with Fanatic. And then that'll give you access to this Disciples of Sotek. This is going to give an extra 20 armor and 8 melee defense for red-crested skinks. This is going to make them much, much better in combat. And then you can add to it this one right here, the Tide of Sotek, which is going to give them 8 more attack and 10 more leadership. So your red-crested skinks will start to become quite powerful. In a little test run campaign I already had red-crested skinks with about 60 armor and some pretty good stats. This is going to make them much more survivable, and then obviously you'll want to get him on his Ripperdactyl as quick as you can. Eventually, the Engine of the Gods, but Ripperdactyl is only at level 10, so very achievable, and he has massive anti-infantry power when you get him on the Ripperdactyl. So just something to keep in mind. The other cool thing about Tehenhauin is he actually starts with this unique Blade of the Serpent's Tongue, so kind of a cool thing that gives him poison. So definitely pretty cool there. He gets to start with a unique weapon. Let's get things started by ending a turn. I think I've kind of covered the basics here. This is your plaques up here to kind of tell you what you're doing in terms of the Prophecy of Sotek. We're on stage 1. That was mentioned early on. We have to do a couple things. We need to have 2 provinces, and then we also have to perform 5 of those sacrifices. You can see that says 1 of 5 there. I guess we've now done that. Once we do that, we get into stage 2. Okay? So that's where the Prophecy of Sotek stuff goes to work. Otherwise, the ancient plaques are similar to the Lizardmen in the Vortex campaign. This is your captives up here, how many sacrificial captives you have active, and those are what drive your ability to perform these sacrifices here on the Sacrifices of Sotek. Anyway, hopefully that gives you all a quick rundown. Let me end the turn. We'll have more skinks, and we'll go to war. Now, it definitely looks like the Skaven have probably laid an ambush for us. I don't see them over here. They could have moved out of range, but they've probably laid some kind of ambush for us. Let's move our... Yep, there they are. They were just waiting to intercept us. But we spotted the ambush, so now we're going to be fighting Infectique here. Let's take him out. Alright, my apologies earlier. I didn't realize that I had my overlay on still from the stream. So my bad, I got it turned off at this point. In any case, I wanted to introduce you to a few of the units here on the battlefield before we get started. I think this is important for you all to learn. Because as you're playing your Tehenhauin campaign early, you need to know how to best use these units. One of the best units you have, not the best unit you have when you start out here, is this Bastiladon with the Ark of Sotek on top. And there you can see it. Really cool looking things. You even got some cool looking skinks there with their javelins riding on top, ready to throw them. This thing is obviously anti-infantry and armor piercing, just like the standard Bastiladon with heavy armor itself, but that Ark of Sotek gives you a bound ability, and let me show you that real quick. The bound ability is this one here that allows you to deal poison damage in like a vortex around the Ark. This is not like a click it and then cast it on the ground kind of spell. It just automatically surrounds the Ark of Sotek, so the best way to use it is to cram yourself into the biggest blob of enemy infantry you can find, and then click that Ark of Sotek, and you will do tremendous damage. Now, again, the other units that this army starts with, some of which will be familiar. Alright, some of these units aren't new, they're going to be familiar, they're just going to look pretty cool here. We got our skink skirmishers. These guys are quick moving, and a poison skirmisher that can fire in a 360 arc while moving. Here is our skink cohorts with javelins. I'm going to have these guys up front. I'm going to use them to just poison the Skaven infantry and hold as best I can. And then here is Tehenhauin preaching the commandments of Sotek to these vile Skaven who are going to be sacrificed in order to bring about Sotek's purposes and his prophecy. And then over here on the far flank, I have my red-crested skinks. These are the Great Weapon Skinks. Really cool unit that's added to the game. Quick-moving, armor-piercing damage. A little bit flimsy, but hey, not when you're in Tehenhauin's army. And then one of my favorite new units in the game is going to be these salamander hunting packs that you're going to see here. These guys spit fireballs from a distance, and they're armor-piercing. Very, very good at sitting behind an enemy fight. So run around the flank, get behind the fight, create some blobs, and let these guys spit their fireballs into the blob, and then you can also charge them into melee for some armor-piercing fun. That is the army. Let's get things started. Alright, the Skaven are down at the bottom of the hill, and I'm going to take my forces forward. I do have my red-crested skinks on the flank because I feel like they're going to be able to do some good damage on the flank. And then here is the Skaven army that we're approaching. I'm going to get an attack order clicked here for all my troops. And all of my javelin skinks should do some standoff work here. I'm going to actually put these skinks on skirmish, and then let's bring our Ark of Sotek crashing down into these clan rats. Tehenhauin is getting a little bit overextended. Let's back him up here. He does have Doomflock to start with. Let's use that there where we can hit 2 units at once. And then let's swing this Ark of Sotek over here. I want to use it to help take down some of these clan rats. Let's get our salamander hunting pack and scoot back. We want to do a little bit of skirmishing. So here we go. Got the Ark of Sotek. We've already routed a couple of units. Let's use one of these skinks to intercept that one. And then I want to bring my Ark of Sotek into the most expensive units of infantry that the Skaven have. Get that, and then here's where our salamanders will find themselves quite at home. We're going to take on the enemy lord with Tehenhauin, and I'm going to use Wissen's wild form to buff him up just a little bit here. The Ark of Sotek is a little bit slow, just be aware of it. Skink cohort with javelins, good at chasing off enemy skirmishers like this, so should be a cool use. Let's get a close look at these salamanders in battle. You can see them here, going to be spitting those fireballs, and it is just devastating when you get them onto the flank of a fight like that. And here comes the Ark of Sotek. Let's get in there and use the special ability. The special ability does not hurt friendly units. Oh, it's not good. They're running away from it. We want to keep them within that radius there. You see the poisonous serpents going all about there from where we clicked it, so it has an area of effect damage, and you always want to use it on the most expensive key infantry targets that you can, and we were able to accomplish that there. You can see our salamander hunting pack tore out those filthy Skaven in that particular one. And then over here, Tehenhauin is making short work of the sorry Skaven scum who opposed him. These are skink skirmishers too. Let's go chasing these guys out. And we have their whole army pretty much on the run at this point. They just have a couple of Skaven slave slingers that are running around like idiots, hoping to avoid death. I'm going to actually try and pick off the Skaven lord here. Get you all a little eye candy here while we wreck him with all these skink skirmishers. So he is going to accept Sotek's commandments, and Tehenhauin is going to ensure it. Go preach to him, Tehenhauin. Preach it. That's right. Alright, post-battle, this is where you'll notice this new mark for sacrifice. And that's definitely what we want to be doing, because we want to get as many casualty or sacrifices as possible. It's going to make you, so make sure you pick that option. Like, I haven't found a situation where I don't want to pick that option yet. So that's just me. And you're going to get a good number of captives. We got 50 captives from that battle. You can see all of our units are still healthy. Let's take out these treacherous Skaven. I'm going to auto-resolve this one. That may be a mistake. Ugh, auto-resolve is so crap. I didn't lose that many in the initial battle, but we do get our replenishment sped up, and we're going to get more sacrifices. So we're now up to 200 sacrifices. Let's head into an encampment so we can replenish a bit quicker. And we're going to go ahead and actually come in here too. And you can see this one right here, Sacrifice of Curvissa. This is going to give us a extra casualty replenishment rate for the next few turns. So we definitely want to take this one here. So now we'll be replenishing quicker. You can see it has a substantial buff to our replenishment rate. We're going to want more skink cohorts for now, because that's what, or skink cohort with javelins, because that's what's available to us, and we need to push the Night Forest. We do have our first skill point for Tehenhauin. I'm going to go with Inspiring Presence, and then our second one, I'm going to go ahead and start dropping it into Skirmisher here. So this is going to start buffing the missile damage, weapon strength of our skinks, and as we get down here, it also adds melee defense on tier 2 and 3. So significant buff for skinks. That's where we're going to start. Alright, we're at the next turn. There's a pretty sizable Skaven force here under Borg Zap Scruddle. I don't know what kind of name that is. It's a pretty strange one, but I'm actually going to fall back to my capital just so that he can't attack me on this turn and leave me in a disadvantageous position. And we now have access to our red-crested skinks. I'm going to go ahead and recruit a few of those, and then let's go in here into our sacrifice screen. I need 50 more if I'm going to open up the cohort of Sotek, so probably going to have to wait on that one. I've still got the armor buff and the replenishment buff. There's this other one here which gives us the ability for Jungle Swarm. I haven't used that yet, so I don't know exactly what it is. I'm not terribly worried about it at the moment. We can start our research here. Tablet of Skinks is going to give us extra ammunition. That's actually a great start for us, and we're ready to end another turn. So you can see it's a good thing that we fell back a little. There was more rats there than we could initially see, so now we have Pustin and Borg Zap Scruddle all over us with a lot of Skaven. They're likely to come siege the settlement. So we don't really have time to recruit anything else here. Under our sacrifices of Sotek, I think that we should probably pick this one that gives us the Jungle Swarm. We also have the one that gives us leadership. But I'm going to go with Jungle Swarm. It's probably an ability that can help us out while we're in battle against big balls of infantry. We can see here, that's the red-crested skinks. I got a skink cohort. I got a lot of skink cohort. I'd like to have some more of these skink skirmishers. I'll go ahead and start recruiting them. And let's go ahead and end another turn. We're likely to be attacked by Skaven before we get those units recruited. But we do have some Saurus and more skinks. And the Saurus will do fantastic if we end up in a battle. So I'll see you on the next turn. Alright, Clan Fester thinks they have us right where they want us, but in fact, I have them right where I want them. If it will let me select my troops here. Thank you. We're going to sally out and attack them. We'll be reinforced by our garrison. The auto-resolve seems to think that this easily favors the Skaven. I say we go prove them wrong. Alright, before the battle begins, let me give you a quick overview. The Skaven reinforcements are going to be coming on from the far back right corner. Here's the initial army that they've deployed. They have some rat ogres and clan rats, Skaven slaves. This is my army. I haven't deployed it yet, but I'm basically going to be waiting on my reinforcements to come in as well. I'm going to get my Saurus warriors up front, and then I'm going to lead those Saurus warriors with my skink javelin cohorts, and then I'm going to have the flanks with red-crested skinks. And then I will also take my Bastiladon Ark of Sotek right up the middle, and then my Salamander Hunting Pack also working the flank with my Skink Skirmishers. Let's get deployed, and I'll show you what it looks like. Alright folks, the Skaven army is fast approaching. You can see some of their rat ogres out in the distance. I need to turn on my fire at will. I had it turned off because the Skaven were summoning some of their clan rats. The ones that they can summon in every battle. I've got my skink cohorts with javelins making up a front line. My Saurus warriors are moving into a second line. You can see some of their summons that have come back from routing. I don't really like spending on, or no, that's a gutter runner. I'm perfectly fine spending my javelins on that. The rat ogres will end up being a great target for my javelins as well. It should cause quite a lot of damage to them. Let them have it, skink boys. Let them have it. So yeah, I'm going to have my skink cohorts move out to this flank. I'm going to go ahead and start engaging in combat. My Saurus will do very good here against these rat ogres. And I'm just going to let my skink front line kind of take the brunt of the charge here. We've got a whole lot of skirmishers. Let's fall back here. Take our salamander hunting pack and let's actually focus out the rat ogres. Let's do the same over here. I'm going to send over here to help against the rat ogres. And let's get our Ark of Sotek over here, actually right up here into this blob. And we're going to use our special ability. And Tehenhauin, let's do the same thing. Drop that there. And we can use our jungle swarm thing here. And then let's also use our Ark of Sotek and just watch the rats start to fade away into a distant memory. So that should start to cause a whole bunch of problems for the Skaven, and indeed we can see a pretty big rout going on there. Let's push on in. Got a lot of work to do, so I'm going to zoom out here. We have pushed back the rats on this side. Let's go get our skirmishers over here. Throw our salamander hunting pack into that fight. Haven't done anything on this flank, so let's get moved up, get engaged in combat, reinforce our skink cohorts. Alright, Tehenhauin has punched through. Let's go find their lord with Tehenhauin. We can take leadership away from the enemy there. Let's hit this little pack of losers over here, and let's throw our Saurus into this fight. Some extra hurt on those rat ogres. Alright, we're on the enemy lord over here, and Tehenhauin is doing quite well. It's time for some Doomflock action. Ark of Sotek doesn't quite have another use yet. Let's charge forward with these skink cohorts. We've caused a break over here. Let's give a little bit of help here. The charge into the back of this Skaven infantry, so watch our salamander hunting pack at work. See if we can break up the Skaven on this flank, which we have succeeded in doing. In terms of the main fight now, I think we're due for another use of our Ark of Sotek. Let's push forward with some of these skinks that have won their battles and start chasing off skirmishers. We could use some help in this fight over here. We're in a little bit over our head. Tehenhauin's in hair of trouble out here. He's got some rat ogres on him. Let's get some help here. The Bastiladon put a quick rout on those units in the middle. Let's push this direction. So kind of a blob, but we'll be alright. We've won this flank. Managed to push back the Skaven over here. We've got our jungle swarm available now. And let me give you all... Oh, the Skaven routed before I could put it to real good use, but we'll put it right here and let you all see it. I think it's pretty similar to the ability from the Ark of Sotek. In terms of it looks like it releases all these poisonous serpents. So Skaven getting bitten by poisonous snakes works for me. They are not going to be loving life right there. I don't know, unless they like getting bit by poisonous snakes, which they're rats. Maybe they do. Maybe that's something that's just part of life for them. Alright, let's take Tehenhauin over here and see if we can take care of Borg Zap. He managed to rout this other lord. We've got another Doomflock that actually probably wasn't the best use of Doomflock. Let's find this enemy lord with the Ark of Sotek, hunt him down. Everything's collapsed over here for the Skaven. Let's use our fast-moving skinks to chase everything down, and we got ourselves a victory, folks. Just look at the carnage across that battlefield. And a beautiful battlefield it is, with the blood of Skaven shed everywhere, and many more captives that will be sacrificed to Sotek. And Borg Zap, the Warlock, being pushed back there. He is the Warlock Master, one of the new lords. He's a master of nothing anymore. Alright, post-battle, we should get some really nice loot here, and indeed we do. We've also are going to be able to... It's only 50 captives. Feels like we should be getting more captives than that off of this, but hey, we'll take anything we can get at this point. If we get enough captives, we probably want to unlock that Regiment of Renown, Red-Crested Skink. So we pushed back the Skaven. Their forces are badly battered. Ours took some damage in the process as well, but nothing we can't handle. I'm going to go ahead and push forward, and the auto-resolve would give these Skaven way too much credit, so we're going to have to take care of business ourselves. I am deployed for battle, and the key to this battle is going to be not getting any of our units killed, so that way we can keep replenishing and be able to push on into Skaven territory and take out their settlement. Sorry, jumping around a little bit much there. So we're going to put our Ark of Sotek out front. The Skaven really don't have an answer to it. We're going to let it tank all the damage, and then we're going to let our skink cohorts with javelins do all the damage. Keep our red-crested skinks in the back. We want to minimize any damage to them or to Tehenhauin. So I've got my salamanders and my skink skirmishers out on the far flank. The Skaven are up at the top of the hill. Let's go make them dead. Alright folks, the battle is ready to begin. They did summon some rats behind us, but let's be honest. Whoever expected that was going to be effective. My skink cohorts are going to unleash their javelins. I'm actually going to put all my skinks into a defensive mode so they can continue to fire those javelins. And I'm going to try and use my Ark of Sotek to bottle up as many Skaven troops into a blob as possible, because it's going to be the key to damage dealing over here. The enemy lord has already been wounded. Let's get our skirmisher group here, which I was working around the flanks. And let's keep working around the flank. Some red-crested skinks here in a fight. Let's go over and intercept there. Now that the initial combat's been started, let's use our Ark of Sotek well here. So we're going to unleash the poisonous serpents all over this blob of Skaven infantry, and it will be quite effective at dealing a crushing blow to the Skaven there in the middle. Some of my red-crested skinks have been engaged behind enemy lines. Shouldn't be the end of the world. Let's doomflock that too. And now that we've cut a hole, it's time for our skink skirmishers to push forward, start chasing down the enemy skirmishers. We do have a few rat ogres that will need to be dealt with here. So now it's just a matter of pushing forward. There's my salamander hunting pack here. Good. They're keeping their distance. I like it best when the salamander hunting pack keeps its distance in skirmishes, unless it's got a good rear charge opportunity, which I do here, and I will show you that. I love the skink cohorts with javelins. Such a versatile unit early in the game. They can poison the enemy, they can cause missile damage, and then they can stand their ground decently in melee against many units, and especially the way Tehenhauin buffs them. And then the salamander hunting pack combines great with these units. Just a perfect combination. We've got this special ability here too. I don't think it hurts friendlies. I don't know, we'll find out. It may be hurting friendlies, but it's gonna hurt the Skaven a lot more. I can't tell if it's hurting friendlies or not. That damage could have very well been the units that they were fighting in melee there. It clearly hurt the Skaven quite badly. So we are going to deal the Skaven a crushing defeat, and what was left of their forces is now no longer left. And post-battle, here's our report. Come on, give me... Oh yeah, we got some good loot there too. Of course, we're going to take the sacrifices. So we're up to 100. We need 200 to open up that next one. We got this war drum passive, so that's kind of a cool thing. It's on Tehenhauin, and we've defeated a couple of Skaven enemies there. We still have our boost to replenishment and armor for 6 more turns, and then we've got this sacrifice that gives us Jungle Swarm for 9 more turns. Let us push forward. We're going to need to put maximum pressure on the Skaven. I need to save at least half my movement points for an encampment stance. That should give me even faster replenishment. And we can go ahead here and recruit more skinks into the army. I'm going to go ahead and get more skink skirmishers. And then what that'll allow me to do is let the skink skirmishers work the flanks. The javelin cohorts will poison the main enemy line before they're attacked by the red-crested skinks and then hammered by the Bastillodon. So I think we're in pretty good shape. We've picked up 2 skill points. We're going to finish skirmisher. Now our skinks have massive buffs, so 8 defense is big. And then the weapon strength is never a bad thing, as well as the missile damage. We'll take every last bit of it, so we're now 21 missile damage. Not bad. We do have these different rights of Sotek, so for 15 turns, we can get an extra 15% weapon damage, 10 melee attack, and 20 missile damage, and it causes attrition to any enemy units. We're going to do this. This will be great for our offensive into the Night Forest, and help us get started in the right direction. And then we're not going to do any sacrifices yet. We're going to save up and do this one. This is the sacrifice of Guacmal here, which is going to give us the cohort of Sotek. Alright, we now have a huge army of skinks, and we're ready to push on to the Night Forest. We know that it is Skaven occupied. What we don't know is everything that's there. I do know that the more turns I wait, the more Skaven are likely to be there. So I say we push forward and take it now. No more waiting. I'm going to change the movement speed here when I get a chance. The Skaven are revealed, and they are revealed to be lacking. So we're going to auto-resolve this one. Take the settlement. And we have started our push into our second province. We're going to get 50 more sacrifices and pretty good plunder. I do hate that you have to loot to get the captives, because it takes the city down a tier, but that's just what we got to live with at the moment. We completed the Plague-Ridden Filth mission. We've been issued a new one here. Maintain control of 2 provinces by direct ownership or vassals. We are working on that anyway. And as far as the Cult of Sotek, we're going to put the movement speed to fastest. There we go. And you can see we're going to be having some nice healing. Now, we do have to watch out for issues with public order. I'm going to repair here. This building was doubled. It does go all the way up to tier 4, so it's best to delete it outside of your main settlement and keep it in a main chain settlement. We want these ritual resources, the tablets. We need them to help in the race to the Vortex. So let's issue our commandment. I'm going to start off with this alignment of crafting. We're just going to add public order. We are going to have a lot of public order issues because of the fact that we have to loot every time we're taking stuff in order to get the captives for sacrifice. Alright, we're faced with this dilemma of born killers where we have to choose to attack rather than defend, or let us not be reckless, so we either give up attack or defense. I guess I'm going to give up some defense and take the attack. Maybe smarter to go the other way, I don't know. We finished our research, so we now have extra ammunition for our skinks, and we can start the next one, which will increase the missile damage of our skinks. Never a bad thing to have. And then I'm going to build the skink foraging camp, which will increase our growth and replenishment rates, and then upgrade to the Lizardman Plaza here. And we've now got another skill point on Sotek. We have to get to rank 12 before we can unlock Fanatic. So it wouldn't hurt us at this point to either take Route Marcher, which some people will be mad if I don't, but I don't feel like taking Route Marcher. I'm going to put one into Wisson's Wild Form and then get the upgraded Doom Flock. And then at tier 10, we'll get the Ripperdactyl. And then beyond that, we'll start working into this Disciples of Sotek and Tide of Sotek, which are going to be 2 very important skills to pick up. We don't know exactly everything that's in front of us at this point, but we are going to push onward. Our army should be strong enough to handle quite a few problems. We're going to find more Skaven, and I'm not going to... I don't know. I'm going to quick save this in case the auto-resolve screws. It really shouldn't. This really isn't worth fighting. We've already had a lot of Skaven fights like this, but we'll see. Sometimes the AI gets a lot of bullcrap. Yeah, they did kill off a red-crested skink, which is more than they deserve. You all have seen that I clearly wouldn't have let that happen. But auto-resolve is what it is. We're going to loot and occupy the Dusk Gate too. And then I'm going to have to get into the global recruitment pool and get that red-crested skink back. In fact, I'll grab a second one while we're at it. That'll take 2 turns, but that'll just give us a chance to replenish. We're also going to potentially have to deal with rebellion going on in these provinces. We need to push all the way to the Golden Colossus, though, so I do hate having to stop for 2 turns, but kind of is what it is at this point. Alright, we now have enough sacrifices to get the Sacrifice of Guacamole here, so we're going to do that and get a hold of our Regiment of Renown. And that'll mean that we have a full stack here as well, which means that we're going to be pretty much out of income, but that's just, we're going to have to deal with it. It's just the way it works. In fact, we may go just a hair negative, but we won't stay that way for too terribly long. We've got 3 more turns of our extra 10 armor, 4 more turns of replenishment, 6 more turns of the Jungle Swarm, and then 12 more turns of this Rite of Sotek. Unfortunately, 7 more turns of low melee defense too. The High Elves want a trade agreement. This is good for me. I don't really have a lot of goods right now, but we'll take it. We're going to be facing rebellion soon at our capital. We have a decentish garrison. It's definitely manageable. So we'll be able to hold out against some Skaven rebellion. Not loving it, but it is what it is. We've got a few turns before it happens. So I'm going to beeline it for the Golden Colossus and try and take the Skaven of Clan, whatever their name is. I forget their name. Disgusting Clan, Clan Fester. That's it. We're going to take down Clan Fester as quick as we can. Ooh, we could get a Blessed Carnosaur if we raise or sack a settlement. Oh gosh. If we sack the Golden Colossus, then we can pick up a Blessed Carnosaur. We want this Blessed Carnosaur a lot. Let's see if I have any other mission for anything blessed here. No, that's our only blessed unit that we could pick up right now. I definitely want it, though. Definitely want it. We can't reach the Golden Colossus on this turn, which is really annoying. Just slightly out of range, which is going to mean that our capital is 2 turns from rebellion. We'll just have to deal with it. And then we're going to get a rebellion in this province, too, very, very soon. But, I mean, it's just what we got to deal with right now. There's very little we can do about it. This Rite of Ferocity really won't do me any good right now, so no need to spend anything on that. And we don't want to do any sacrifices yet. Alright, we've got a Reclaiming the Lost World thing here. And we can commit to a plan which minus 50% casualties suffered for 2,000, or we can do nothing. I don't need any. I'm not worried about any attrition right now. The Golden Colossus is here in front of us. It will have to be sieged. Again, it's giving the Skaven a huge chance of victory here. I do not believe this chance of victory for even a moment. We're going to use our Bastiladon to crush through the gates and then press on in. There is no time for siege, so let's take care of business. Alright, the siege is underway at the Golden Colossus. I wonder why it gets that name. I don't see a Golden Colossus anywhere. The Skaven hold the settlement. I'm going to use my Skink Skirmishers to kind of take some of the fire and return a little bit of fire themselves to the Skaven who are up on the walls, because we're going to be taking some pretty good shots here. What a crappy, crumbling Skaven settlement here. I guess that's what I would expect from such vermin. Anyway, I've got to give some ladder orders for all my troops. We're going to have our red-crested skinks scaling the walls. Oops, right here is where I want you. Red-crested skinks here, red-crested skinks. Insert red-crested skinks for best effect. I've got my skink cohorts going there too. I'm going to see if we can get in on this clan rat here that's summoned. And I've got my Bastiladon going for the gates, as well as my Salamander hunting pack, so we should be able to bust a hole through the gates. I'm going to give the Skaven Storm Vermin here a little present. It's not great against armor, but we'll take it. So we are sieging the walls. They used a stinking warp bomb on me there and took out one of my skinks. Can't say I'm pleased with that. And let's get Tehenhauin up on the walls as well. Yeah, that actually did decent damage there to those Storm Vermins. That's going to be a good start. I'm actually going to drop this right here too. Damage all that stuff up on the wall. Oh yeah, we got red-crested skinks getting up on the wall aplenty. Let's take some more skinks up on the walls over here. We're going to need a few to get through the gates. Let's take out these spawns. Let's get more up on the walls. Get into combat here. We got a nasty fight going on. But I believe it will be swinging in our favor this whole time. Alright, good. Our skink boss is up on the walls. There's 60 seconds till another jungle swarm. Let's see if the progress on the gates is. We're up to 74% damage. Oh, that lightning. That lightning, it's gonna hurt so bad. I was blobbed up. Freaking hate that warp lightning with a fiery passion. My Salamander hunting pack just got absolutely destroyed. They warp bombed us. Freaking hate that warp bomb ability. It's so unfair that you can use it on a summons. I really, really dislike it a lot, and I find it extremely abusive. Very, very frustrating. I'm going to bring my Salamander hunting pack over here. I don't want to lose that unit, as I can't replace them yet. Our Ark of Sotek should be about to crash through the gates. Warp lightning. So strong in the early game. It is so strong. Come on, get that gate open. The fight on the walls is going very well. Let's see. We need a couple of skinks to... oof, that's a tough fight down here. Alright, gates are open. Let's bring our Bastiladon in. This is going to be a costly battle. If we can get a good blob going here, though, I have an idea. So let's bring our Bastiladon in and go for maximum blobation. Oh, that warp lightning. Please. Oh my goodness, they've got double warp lightning. The warp lightning is just gruesome. Oh, this is perfect. This is what we want right here. Watch this. Rip Skaven. Rip Skaven. So we got the Jungle Swarm plus the Ark of Sotek plus a Doom Flock. Just caused tremendous damage to the Skaven infantry. Let's get down with some of our infantry on the walls and lend a hand. We certainly can't afford it at this point. Get rid of some more of these units. Ugh, the warp lightning just doesn't stop. I hate it. Hate it, hate it, hate it. We made some good progress there. It says the power bar is against us. I don't entirely understand that. I beg to differ. Let's get their Warlock Master. 37 seconds till I get that ability back over here. Try and get the Warlock Master. Okay, we got a route on the walls. Let's get down off the walls over here. Get some units down off the walls. And let's see, my Salamander Hunting Pack just berserked. I should be able to stop that. Alright, yep. Let's push into the center of the town. Or, I guess you can call this a town. Whatever the Skaven left of it. Got those units doing some work up here on the wall. Let's finish that work, and let's move everybody else up into town center. That Ark of Sotek and Jungle Swarm combination was absolutely brilliant. There's no doubt about it. Let's hunt down Borg Zap here. Yeah, we're gonna surround Borg Zap. Come on, chase these guys right off the map. Push them. This is where the speed of Skinks is going to be very, very helpful. I'm actually going to put this right up here, and I should be able to get some good damage done on these units that are routing, and keep them routing. Be gone, filth! Let's push over here. Take on those Clan Rat Spears. Have a stinking Rat Ogre. Let's fall back with the 2 skirmish units. Let's push forward over here with the Ark of Sotek. Looks like the Skaven kind of regrouped a little here. We chased a bunch of their forces off the battlefield. Alright, Ark of Sotek forward. You can tell that their lord is trying to get back in the fight. They're trying desperately to get him back in this fight. His leadership has come up quite a bit. I'm going to get over here and poison these storm vermin and then attack them in the back. We're getting close to... oof, this is bad right here, though. Let's take those guys out. Get some help in there for Tehenhauin. He's in a bit of a pickle. Let's take out this Plague Claw Catapult. As long as we don't let their lord come back, it's going to be pretty critical here. We've poisoned those storm vermin pretty good. I'm going to keep at it. Yeah, we're not going to let their lord come back. So we've got their catapult stopped for the moment, I believe. Yeah, it's done firing. Let's get those Skaven Slave Slingers. We're going to lose some more troops over here to those Rat Ogres, but this should be an acceptable loss. Let's get the Skink charging in the back here. Get you all some of the cinematic goodness of the Skaven being driven out of their hole in an epic battle by Tehenhauin, who bravely comes in, even in the face of a pretty strong Skaven force. And despite the insane warp lightning from the Skaven, which, oh my goodness, was it insane? We had a little bit of insanity of our own. The Ark of Sotek and the Jungle Swarm clearing out all of the Skaven who were in the entryway, so a crippling defeat. And look at the stats there. Tehenhauin picking up 106 kills, 122 on a regiment of renowned Skinks. And then our Bastiladon, obviously the key there, taking down the gates. We did not lose a single unit. We are fortunate to have kept our Salamander Hunting Pack after that Warp Bomb. We're going to get some nice loot. We even picked up a banner here, which gives us extra charge bonus. And we've shut down Borg Zap Scruddle and gained a very key victory here. We need to sack in order to fulfill that mission. and get that blessed Carnosaur spawn, which we definitely want. So I'm going to go ahead and go sack this, which unfortunately means that I'm going to have to fight it again. But we can go into an encampment and begin a little replenishment. So I think that's going to be a good place for us to go. Let's maybe merge some units here. I'm going to merge those 2 units, and then we should be able to pick up the blessed Carnosaur spawn, which may put me in the negative. Yeah, it will. But it's so going to be worth it for the time being. And then we'll take that settlement. We can put Tehenhauin on a horned one, and then we'll upgrade his Flock of Doom. So this is going to be about where I have to leave off for the first episode. I do hope that this has been some good starting advice for you. You can see we now are in control of a total, well, we were about to be in control of 4 settlements. Let's take care of it. We do have a rebellion coming. Yeah, so at the end of the turn, you can see there's the Skaven rebellion. We should be able to handle it with our garrison unless it just gets completely out of control. We're going to send Tehenhauin back that way. Let's take a look at the buffs that we're still getting. We have the sacrifice. We need to get our healing one back. We've had 10 turns duration, so we want that one so we can continue to heal quickly. Let's see here. Let's move back over. You can see the Skaven are quickly trying to rebuild. We're going to need to take the golden colossus. Really worried that the auto-resolve is going to mess me over. I'm going to save it just in case. If you're going to use the auto-resolve, that's usually not a bad idea. Yeah, the auto-resolve killed a couple of my red-crested skinks. Not thrilled about it, but we could have a worse one. We're going to take the settlement. I'm going to loot and occupy. The settlement has been looted down thoroughly, but we got our blessed Carnosaur out of it. We're only slightly in the negative, but we have a lot of gold right now. So again, think we're at a good point to end the episode and be ready to pick up in the next one. We're going to have to swing back and go help our capital. And then my next bit of advice to you all is actually that you need to take out the Tomb Kings early, and we're going to do that. So come back on the next episode and we will kill Khalida. I'm going to do a similar series on stream with the Skaven. So the Skaven is going to be a streamed campaign, and want you all to be able to see both of these. I do hope you all enjoyed this format. Making sure I cut out the turn-ins for you, try and get you cinematic views in battle as best I can. Some of you may wish that I record the battle afterwards like I did in the Archaon campaign. I'm not going to do that in this particular campaign, at least not in every episode. It takes a ton of time, an absolute ton of time. We'll do some more sacrifices here. I like doing it, but I just don't have the time for it right now. You can see we've done 5 of 5 there. All we have to do is take the Forgotten Isles, and we will complete the first phase of Sotek's prophecy. I will see you all in the next episode. Hey, please, if you enjoyed it, leave me a like. It helps out a lot, and make sure you subscribe to see more. If you didn't like it or you want me to do something different, go down in the comments and tell me how I can do better. I really look forward to making more for you. HeirofCarthage signing out. I will see you all soon.